Hello and Namaste. I am Archana Raghuram and welcome back to my channel Temples, Books and Science. This is the fifth episode in our ongoing series exploring the Lalita Sahasranamam. Today we continue our journey venturing into the Shakti Kutam of the Panchadashi mantra, which corresponds to the description of the goddess's lower body. Our exploration of the Lalita Sahasranamam now takes us to the 37th name, which draws our attention to the exquisite drape of Lalita Devi's attire. The 37th name is Aruna Kausumba Vastrabhasvat Katitati. This name means she whose hips are adorned with radiant reddish garments. Remember how we talked about the significance of the color red in the name Nijaruna Prabhapura Madhyat Brahmanda Mandala. It represents love, new beginnings, the waking state and consciousness itself. This name reminds us that the goddess is not just a static image of beauty, but a dynamic force that moves and flows through the cosmos. Now let's move on to the next name, which draws our attention to the ornaments that adorns her waist. The 38th name is Ratna Kinkini Karamya Rashanadama Bhushita. This name, filled with the sounds and sights of precious gems, describes a beautiful belt on the goddess's waist. It means she who is adorned with a golden belt, which is decorated with gems and jeweled bells. Basically, the name says that she is wearing a udyanam, which is decorated with gems and bells. These bells, or kinkinis as they are called in Sanskrit, are more than just beautiful ornaments. They represent Nada Brahmam. Nada Brahmam means sound is Brahman, or the universe is created from sound. It's the idea that sound is not just something we hear, but the very foundation of reality. It's the vibration that underlies all of existence, the cosmic hum that resonates through everything. Our rishis understood this deep connection between sound and creation. They realized that everything in the universe is vibrating, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy. And they discovered that these vibrations, these sounds are not random. They follow patterns, they create harmonies, they weave the tapestry of existence. The bells of the goddess's belt, with their gentle jingling, remind us of this cosmic music. They symbolize the mantraksharas, the seed sounds that create and sustain the universe. That is why it is said, even when the goddess is still, even when she is in deep meditation, these bells keep making their gentle music. They are a constant reminder of the dynamic nature of consciousness, the ever-present vibration that underlies all of existence. So, these bells are not just decorations, they are a symbol of the profound truth that sound is Brahman, that consciousness itself is vibration. They are a reminder that we are all part of this cosmic symphony and that by attuning ourselves to the divine music, we can experience the harmony and unity that underlies all of creation. The Lalita Sahasranamam now focuses on a name that speaks volumes about her relationship with Lord Shiva. The 39th name is Kameswara Saubhagya Mardavoru Dvayanvita. This name means she who is endowed with two thighs that are soft, auspicious, and known only to Lord Kameswara. This name, filled with tenderness and devotion, tells us that the goddess's thighs are known only to her beloved, Lord Kameswara. It is a beautiful expression of intimacy and exclusivity, highlighting the depth of their connection. This name speaks of the goddess's Pativratyam, her unwavering fidelity and devotion to her husband. To understand the meaning of this Pativratyam fully, we need to delve into the nature of Shiva and Shakti themselves. Shiva represents pure consciousness, the formless, attributeless ground of all existence. Shakti is his dynamic energy, the creative force that manifests the universe. But they are not two separate entities. They are one and the same, two sides of the same coin. They are the ideal couple, inseparable and eternally united. Shiva is the witness of the entire manifest universe. He is the silent observer, the Sakshi Chaitanyam, the unchanging consciousness that pervades all things. So only he truly knows the goddess in her entirety. That is the meaning behind the name Kameshagnata Saubhagya Mardavoru Dvayanvita. The entire manifest universe is the form of the goddess, and Shiva, the consciousness principle, is the ground of her existence. This relationship is depicted in the Puranas as an unbreakable bond, as the deep and abiding love of Shiva and Shakti. The goddess, as the manifestation of this consciousness, is imagined as the Mahapativrata, completely devoted to Shiva. She exists within Shiva. Her form is the personification of Shiva. So she is fully known only to him. She has eyes only for him, and her thoughts are ever fixed on him. It is truly a timeless love, a love that outlives the birth and death of billions of universes. That is why there are so many names in the Lalita Sahasranamam that speak of their love and fidelity. We have seen several so far, like Mandasmita Prabhapura Majjat Kamesha Manasa, Kamesha Baddhamangalya Sutra Shobhita Kandara. And now this name, Kamesha Gnata Saubhagya Mardavoru Dvayanvita, further emphasizes their profound connection. Apart from this, there is another fascinating layer to this name. Remember how we discussed that the names in the Lalita Sahasranamam often encode Bija mantras. Well, in this name, Saubhagya and Mardava are references to two such mantras. These mantras are said to have originated from Shiva himself, and since they emerged from him, he is the only one who truly knows them and understands their full potential. This adds another dimension to the meaning of the name, suggesting that only Shiva can fully comprehend the depths of the goddess's being and her power. The Lalita Sahasranamam continues to paint a picture of the goddess, now focusing on her knees. The 40th name is Manikya Makutakara Janudvaya Virajita. This name means her knees are like crowns made of precious gems. The goddess's knees are not just joints but powerful symbols of her sovereignty and her ability to support the universe. The hymn continues its journey down the goddess's divine form, now focusing on her shapely legs. The 41st name is Indragopa Parikshipta Smaratunaba Jangika. This name, shimmering with imagery, compares the goddess's legs to the quiver of Manmata, the god of love. Indragopa Parikshipta Smaratunaba Jangika means she whose legs are like quivers of the god of love Kamadeva, which are decorated with fireflies. Like most names in Lalita Sahasranamam, there is more to this name than meets the eye. Hidden within it is a fascinating play on words, a pun that reveals deeper layers of meaning. The words Indra, Gopa, Smaratuna, Jangika can be decoded like this. Indra means great prosperity, which ultimately means liberation. And why is liberation the greatest prosperity? Because it's eternal. It can never be depleted or taken away, unlike worldly wealth or possessions. Gopa means protector, guardian, one who shields from harm. Smaratuna means desires or wishes of people who think of her, her devotees. Jangika, this word meaning legs, can also mean the cause or the one who makes it happen. So, this name, using a play of word, suggests that the goddess is the cause of liberation, the one who gives protection, and the fulfiller of all desires. Her legs, like the quivers of Manmata, are filled with arrows of love and blessings, ready to be bestowed upon her devotees. Now, let's delve deeper into the imagery of the legs as quivers. Remember Manmata, the god of love, who tried to conquer Shiva with his arrows of desire? Well, the goddess's beauty is so captivating that her legs are compared to two quivers, fully equipped to capture Shiva's heart. In Saundarya Lahari, Shankaracharya beautifully elaborates on this description. He says, Parajetum Rudram Dviguna Sharagarbhau Girisute. To conquer Shiva, she has two quivers filled with arrows. Shankaracharya imagines her legs as those two quivers of Manmata and her toes as the arrows peeking out from them, since Manmata carries 5 arrows in his quiver. But to conquer the great ascetic Shiva, one quiver wouldn't be enough, isn't it? So the goddess has two quivers, symbolizing her irresistible charm and her power to awaken love, even in the heart of the most detached being. The Lalita Sahasranamam now draws our attention to a subtle yet significant detail. The 42nd name is Guda Gulpa. Guda Gulpa is commonly translated as she who has curved ankles. But it also has another meaning. Guda means hidden, that which cannot be seen. It refers to the goddess's ankles being hidden from view. But why this emphasis on hidden ankles? Well, in our tradition, covering the ankles is often seen as a sign of modesty and respect. It's a way of honoring the sacredness of the body and maintaining a sense of decorum. The goddess, by concealing her ankles, embodies this sense of modesty and grace. This name also brings to mind the way the goddess is often depicted, seated in Padmasana, the lotus pose, a classic yogic posture. In this pose, the legs are crossed and the feet are tucked close to the body, concealing the ankles. Think of the iconic image of Devi Kamakshi in Kanchipuram. Incidentally, it was here in her sacred temple that the Lalita Sahasranamam was taught to Agastya by Hayagriva Swami. And in this temple, the goddess sits in Padmasana, her ankles gracefully hidden. The Padmasana has great significance in yoga. It's a posture that promotes stability, grounding, and focus. It's said to be conducive to meditation and spiritual awakening. The name itself, Padmasana, means lotus pose. Just as the lotus flower emerges from the mud to blossom in radiant beauty, Padmasana helps us to rise above the distraction and challenges of life and blossom into our full potential. By grounding the body and promoting stillness, Padmasana helps to quiet the mental chatter and create a sense of inner peace. By imagining the goddess seated in Padmasana, the Lalita Sahasranamam subtly encourages us to cultivate these qualities within ourselves. It invites us to find stillness, to turn our attention inward, and to embark on our journey towards self-realization. The Lalita Sahasranamam now moves to her feet. The 43rd name is Kurma Prishta Jaishnu Prapadanvita. This name, with its unique imagery, compares the goddess's feet to the back of a tortoise. It implies that the curve of her feet defeats even the tortoise's back in its beauty. This name holds many layers of meaning, each revealing a different facet of the goddess's divine nature. It speaks to everyone, regardless of where they are on their spiritual journey. If you see the goddess as a deity, a personification of perfect beauty, the names will resonate with you at that level. But if you're seeking deeper meaning, you'll find philosophical and spiritual truths woven into every verse. Each name is like a multifaceted gem, reflecting different colors and depths depending on how you look at it. The Upanishads might appeal to those seeking profound philosophical insights, while Puranas might resonate with those who love stories and legends. But the Lalita Sahasranamam embraces everyone, offering something for all levels of seekers. It's a testament to the skill of the Vagdevis, the goddesses of speech themselves, who crafted these nuanced and layered names. Let's examine this name, Kurma Prishta Jaishnu Prapadanvita, with this in mind. At a superficial level, it speaks to her grace and beauty. According to Samudrika Lakshana, the ancient Indian art of reading bodily features, the curve of the feet is considered a desirable feature in women, symbolizing elegance and auspiciousness. At the next level, you can understand it in the context of Puranas. Remember the story of the churning of the Milky Ocean, the Samudra Matanam? During this cosmic event, Mount Mandara was used as a churning rod. But the mountain was so heavy that it began to sink into the ocean. It was Lord Vishnu himself who took the form of a giant tortoise, Kurmavatara, to support the mountain and prevent it from sinking. Similarly, this name suggests if we take refuge in the goddess's feet, she will stop us from sinking under the weight of our sorrows and worries. She will lift us up, support us, and guide us towards liberation. Just like the tortoise protects its organs by withdrawing them into its shell, the goddess protects the whole universe with her boundless compassion and power. She offers us a safe haven, a refuge from the storms of life, and guides us towards ultimate liberation. And at the highest level, this name, Kurma Prishta Jayishnu Prapadanvita, reveals her as a source of wisdom. Prapada is another name for the Mahavakyas, the great proclamations of the Upanishads. Prapada literally means great words or auspicious words. These are not just any words, they are the core message of Vedanta, the essence of Vedantic wisdom. The Mahavakyas such as Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, and Tattvamasi, you are that Brahman, reveal the identity between Brahman, the ultimate reality, and the individual self. They declare that we are not separate from the divine, but are in fact one with it. If you want to know more about the Mahavakyas, I have done a detailed video in my Vedanta series. I have provided a link in the description below. When we truly understand the Mahavakyas, when their meaning penetrates our hearts and minds, we are liberated. We are freed from the clutches of Maya, the illusion of separation, and we are released from samsara, the cycle of birth and death. The goddess's feet are described as prapadam, these great and auspicious words. They symbolize the path to liberation, the gateway to self-realization. Now, let's come to Kurma Prishta, the back of the tortoise. In our Puranas, the world is depicted as resting on the back of a giant tortoise. Kurma Prishta, tortoise's back, symbolizes the world of Maya or Samsara, the cycle of birth and death, illusion and suffering. Jayishnu means conquer. So this name, Kurma Prishta Jayishnu Prapadanvita, can be interpreted as her feet are the Mahavakyas, the auspicious words that help us conquer samsara, overcome Maya, and attain liberation. This name invites us to take refuge in the goddess's feet, to meditate on her divine words, and to awaken to the truth of our own being. It reminds us that the path to liberation lies in realizing our oneness with the divine, and that the goddess's grace can guide us towards that ultimate goal. The next name, the 44th, is closely connected to the 43rd. It takes us deeper into the theme of liberation and shows us what the Mahavakyas can grant us. It is Nakadiditi Sanchanna Namajjana Tamoguna. This name speaks of the goddess's power to dispel the darkness of ignorance. It means she whose nails, shining with divine brilliance, removes the darkness from the minds of those who bow at her feet. The brilliance of her nails destroys the darkness of ignorance. This light emanating from her toenails is the light of knowledge that we gain from the Mahavakyas. When this knowledge arises within us, the darkness of ignorance in our hearts disappears. But to attain this knowledge, we need to learn to bow at her feet, to surrender our ego and embrace the attitude of Sharanagati, complete surrender to the divine. The goddess's feet are imagined as the Upanishads, the source of spiritual wisdom. The curve of her feet, the highest point of her feet, represents the Prapadam, the Mahavakyas, the zenith of the Upanishad. The light of her nails is the knowledge that emerges when we internalize the wisdom of the Mahavakyas. This light destroys the darkness of ignorance that binds us to this world of Maya and leads us to liberation. This name, with its profound symbolism, reminds us that the path to liberation begins with surrender, with bowing down to the divine with humility and devotion. It is through this surrender that we can access the light of knowledge, dispel the darkness of ignorance, and ultimately attain the freedom and bliss of self-realization. The Lalita Sahasranamam continues its focus on the goddess's feet. The next name holds a profound significance in Kundalini Yoga. The 45th name is Padadvaya Prabhajala Parakrita Saroruha. This name, radiant with light and symbolism, means the brilliant light emanating from her 2 feet defeats the beauty of lotuses. Now you might wonder, why does the name talk about the light of her feet when comparing them to lotuses? Lotuses are known for their beauty and gentleness, not for their brilliance, isn't it? This is where the name goes beyond mere physical beauty. It alludes to the Kundalini Shakti and the journey towards enlightenment. In Kundalini Yoga, the Sahasrara, located at the crown of the head, is the seat of pure consciousness, the ultimate goal of spiritual practice. It's where we experience the union with divine, the blissful state of enlightenment. The goddess, seated in the Sahasrara chakra, is the embodiment of this pure consciousness. Her feet, more beautiful than the lotuses, represent the transcendence over the lower chakras. They symbolize the culmination of the spiritual journey, the state of enlightenment where individual consciousness merges with the divine. When we reach that state of enlightenment, it is said that the goddess resides in the Sahasrara chakra at the top of our head. And from her feet, there is an overflowing of nectar of immortality, Amritam. It is no ordinary worldly nectar. It's the nectar of knowledge, the light of wisdom that illuminates our being and dispels the darkness of ignorance. That is the meaning of the name Padadvaya Prabhajala, the brilliant light emerging from her feet. This light engulfs the 6 chakras below the Sahasrara. Now, in our tradition, these chakras are often referred to as lotuses. So, the brilliance of the goddess's feet outshines the other chakras, which are like lotuses, symbolizing the supremacy of the Sahasrara and the ultimate goal of spiritual awakening. This is what is meant by the phrase Parakrita Saroruha. The lotuses are defeated, overcome, outshined by the brilliance of her feet. It is a reminder that the true path to liberation lies in transcending the limitations of the lower chakras and merging with the divine consciousness at the crown of creation. This name invites us to turn our awareness inwards, to awaken the Kundalini Shakti within, and to journey towards the Sahasrara chakra, where we can experience the bliss of union with the goddess. If you want to know more about the Kundalini and the various chakras, watch my Navaratri Golu video. The central theme of my Golu this year was Kundalini. I have done a detailed video about the various chakras and the significance of the Sahasrara chakra. I want to draw your attention to the fact that all 3 of these names which describe her feet talk about liberation. The Mahavakyas that reveal the ultimate truth, the light of knowledge that destroys ignorance, and the yogic path of Kundalini that leads to liberation. Each of these names offer a different perspective on the same ultimate goal, union with the divine. But why this emphasis on the feet? Why are the goddess's feet so closely associated with liberation? Think about it. We prostrate at her feet, we surrender at her feet, we meditate on her feet. Her feet represent the culmination of our spiritual journey, the point where we finally reach the divine. That's why the central message of Lalita Sahasranamam, the message of liberation, are encoded in the names that describe her feet. These names proclaim that this hymn is the very knowledge of the Upanishads, revealing the path to liberation. They guide us towards the ultimate truth, the realization of our oneness with the divine. Now let's move on to the next name, which continues to focus on her feet. The 46th name is Shinjana Manimanjira Mandita Shri Padambuja. This name, filled with the sounds and sights of precious ornaments, means she whose feet are adorned with beautiful anklets made of gems. But these anklets are more than just alankarams. They represent the Vedas, the sacred scriptures that form the foundation of our spiritual tradition. The sound produced by these anklets, the rhythmic jingling as the goddess moves, symbolizes the mantraksharams, the sacred syllables of the Vedas. The Vedas, also known as Shruti, were traditionally transmitted orally, passed down through generations by the power of sound and memorization. So, the sound of the anklets represents the Vedas themselves, the source of all knowledge and wisdom. And the goddess's feet, adorned with these anklets, symbolize the culmination of Vedic knowledge. Her feet are the Upanishads, while her anklets are the Vedas themselves. The Vedas are the ornament of her feet, and her feet themselves are the zenith of Vedic knowledge, the ultimate goal of spiritual practice. This name reminds us that the goddess embodies the entire spectrum of Vedic wisdom, from the foundational sounds of the Vedas to the profound insights of the Upanishads. She is the source of all knowledge, and her divine dance, accompanied by the music of her anklets, leads us towards liberation. The name Sinjana Manimanjira Mandita Shri Padambuja marks another significant point in our journey through Lalita Sahasranamam. It signifies the end of Shakti Kutam, the third and the final part of the Panchadashi mantra. This name corresponds to the last 3 syllables of the Shakti Kutam. So, this marks the completion of our journey through the physical representation of the Panchadashi mantra in the Lalita Sahasranamam. We have traversed the entire form of the goddess, from her radiant face to her sacred feet, witnessing the unfolding of the 3 kutas and their profound symbolism. Sinduraruna Vigraham Trinayanam Manikya Mauli Spurat Taranayaka Shekaram Smitamukim Apina Vakshoruham Panibhyam Alipurna Ratna Chashakam Raktotpalam Vibratim Saumyam Ratna Gadastha Rakta Charanam Dhyayet Param Ambikam. And with that, we come to the end of our exploration of the goddess's divine form as described in the Lalita Sahasranamam. I hope you enjoyed this journey through her radiant beauty and profound symbolism. If you are eager to continue this exploration with me, please subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family who might also appreciate the wisdom of the Lalita Sahasranamam. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Until next time, may the blessings of the goddess Lalita Tripura Sundari be with you. Om Shri Matre Namaha. Namaste.